you everybody for coming this morning to this ribbon cutting for these beautiful townhomes here in Garfield in the university area. I will say that as a UNM alum, I would have loved to have housing options like this when I was in school, but it's really awesome to see it going up now. So great job with this project. Please join me in welcoming up Mayor Tim Keller to get us started and lead us through our program this morning.
All right. Well, good morning on a beautiful spring day in Albuquerque. Of course, a little breezy. And this is a good example of what we just want to continue to have more of throughout our city. And I know that, for me, I think seeing some of these projects in the first place that are, they're infill, they're the missing middle of all the housing needs that we have. And if you drive around town and, I was born and raised here, it's like, okay, I see the giant apartment complexes and I know we need that, right? There's a place for all types of housing. But the hardest is always things like this. It's new housing that fits like the right footprint for the right demographic in the right area of town that's already built. And so that's why this project is so special, and it's so targeted, and it's really what our Metropolitan Redevelopment housing efforts are all about. And so I also want to just thank Evan. He does this all the time, and it's great. And so we really appreciate your work. One of my favorite kind of hidden gem builders is Evan. And so I wanted to make sure to be here. And I know I just heard actually he's got another project going on down on Yale, which is excellent. So we want to keep you as busy as possible. That's MR's job. Yes, please. And so a couple other things, of course, we've got 16 new townhomes. The concept of a townhome is also, believe it or not, like revolutionary for Albuquerque, meaning that we had all these old zoning restrictions that tried to label like you have to be an apartment or you have to be a house. And, we had some options for like a duplex. But the idea of townhouses was actually this other policy gap that we fixed a couple of years ago. And so now we're much more accommodating to like all types of dwellings, right? Because a home is a home, and it doesn't really matter if it fits into, definition A or definition B in the city's planning code. But that is actually what the challenge was until a couple of years ago. We've drastically changed how flexible we are to allow for different kinds of homes all over our city. So we're also near UNM, which is awesome. And we also know we need student housing, whether it's graduate or undergrad, et cetera, or even professors or part-time professors and all things that go into UNM. And that's also why this specific location is so important to make sure that we can actually create 16 homes for folks who statistically, half of them will be involved at least with UNM in one way or another. And so that's really special to be able to do in a city that is as old as ours with not a lot of empty space around. But when we see it, this is what we should do with it. So I will just close with this. We are going to try and do much, much more of this. So Terry and his team are working on a project to essentially utilize every piece of unused city land. Now, sometimes it's private land, and we want to use that too. That's why we have these amazing incentives like the one that was used here, sort of a tax abatement program. And we also have roughly, let's say hundreds of parcels of land, not all of them are useful, that the city is essentially just going to start doing everything we can to see housing be built on it, or community space. And so stay tuned for that rollout this fall. And I have no doubt that that is going to lead to actually a couple more projects for Evan. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to first Terry Bruner to walk through exactly how we execute the vision that I just articulated, because it's all through his department, Metropolitan Redevelopment. Terry?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Terry Bruner, Director of the Metropolitan Redevelopment Agency, and we're just so excited to be here with you today to talk about the Garfield Townhomes. So this has all been facilitated through Metropolitan Redevelopment's Redevelopment Tax Abatement Program, which reduces the tax burden on somebody like Evan that's developing a lot like this. We freeze the taxes at their prior payment. It looked like the person who had this lot before was paying maybe $500 a year on this lot in property taxes. Think about how little our taxing agencies like APS and CNM and the city are getting out of that $500. We could be getting a lot more if this lot was activated. So the estimated savings that Evan gets on this property is about $151,000 over 7 years by freezing those taxes. And that incentivizes people to take a nasty old lot like the one that was here, that had a burned out building, it was overgrown, had liens on it. This facilitates somebody like Evan coming in and buying that lot, getting a tax freeze while he puts up a great development like this. A development that is going to be infill for this community. You look up and down Garfield Street here, great little houses, old houses, with a nasty lot in the middle that now instead has 16 townhomes that are going to be active with people living here. So it's really creating this infill opportunity for more community, more people, more density, and really bringing up this part of town. So, and it's rather than building out in the city limits, we're building in the interior. And we just are so pleased with our relationship that we have with Evan. He's also got the Ocotillo Ridge townhomes that are right off of Central. He's going to be working on a project with us on Yale Boulevard right by the Smiths on a nasty old vacant lot. And this is exactly what we want. We want to fill in these missing teeth around Albuquerque and these underutilized lots. So we want to thank Evan for his participation in our programs. He's one of our best users of the program, and we know we'll see him time and time again. So thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you here today, and we're really looking forward to this getting rented up and full of people.
Wonderful, and I think that's actually a good segue to the man himself, Evan Davis, Garfield Townhomes, LLC.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. This is my second ribbon cutting, so it's like old hat now. Well-oiled machine. Couple thank yous to Rich and Patty Wilson for helping me find this lot. There's kind of a funny story with that, but it was really a score to find this lot to begin with, so thank you to them. And then also to the MRA for their support, which is really helpful in making projects like this happen. And Terry already mentioned it, but I'm really excited for my next project just down the street at 306 Yale. It's going to be 15-unit townhomes, 3 5-plexes. It's a really cool design that I'm really excited about. I think it's going to really help that area, so I'm so excited to get started on that. And then I'm thrilled to hear that might not be the last project we do together. So hopefully they keep me busy, because I would like to keep doing this as much as I can. Yeah, thank you all for being here. This is a really big deal for me, and it's special to have everybody here. So thank you. There's bubble waters in the fridge if you get thirsty. There's champagne even if you feel like it. It's a little early. So I said this on the last ribbon cutting, but I mean it, and so I'll just say it again really briefly, that these to me are my hope in Albuquerque sort of physically manifest. I believe in Albuquerque. I have a lot of hope for Albuquerque, and each one of these projects is me putting my money where my mouth is and trying to do something that when someone walks down the street, they go, that's cool. Maybe Albuquerque is a cool city that I want to live in. So I hope that comes across, and I'm hoping that I get more opportunities to do this and make a little impact in my hometown. So thanks so much.
Well put, Evan, and I love that, for us too, this is, you like toil away on ridiculous zoning policies and incentive stuff. Yeah. And then you see this and it's like, okay, it was totally worth it. It's actually real, So now part of that is also understanding the community that you're in. And I know our communities, especially ones in this area of town, many folks have their story, multiple generations. And right here in Victory Hills, we also know that this is always just been like a really cool piece of Albuquerque in between like UNM and Nob Hill. And then you have like everything out on Gibson and so forth. And so we're fortunate to have wonderful steward of this area, Patricia Wilson, president of Victory Hills Neighborhood.
Thank you. And actually, Mayor, it's past president. But back in 2022, as president of Victory Hills Neighborhood Association, I was aware of the proposed University Heights Metropolitan redevelopment area that included this portion of Garfield east of Yale. Thanks, Sarah. As architects who have lived in the neighborhood for 50 years, we were also aware of this long vacant property. We contacted the owner and made a verbal offer that we were interested in doing a missing middle housing project. Then certain world events caused us to reevaluate our risk tolerance, and we called Evan, knowing that whatever he came up with would be sensitive, attractive, sustainable, and raise the bar for future development. This project is a perfect example of the type of smaller incremental development that needs to be encouraged and supported by the city. We look forward to seeing what develops at 308 Yale and other sites that Sunlight Homes is working on. And I always do a script because that's the only way you beat the buzzer at council. Thank you.
Insider mic drop. Well played. Okay, well, with that, I think we're actually going to do a little ribbon cutting. So I know Evan will, however you want to organize this, because it's kind of your show. Whoever you want up. Okay, so come on up, whoever you'd like.
Can I get help moving the podium? Terry, will you help me? Yeah. It helps if you hold this at the bottom.
Whoops, sorry.
Hold it.
I didn't see the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, give us a countdown. 3 backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hold it tight.
There you go. There, now. Okay, turn it around the other way. Try that. Yeah. Okay, now, don't get my fingers. Okay, now let's try it. Okay, there we go.